so inhuman. This guy is so inhuman. It's insane. He misses Q.
He runs through singed smoke.
Oh,
Bro, he just wants to get high. He's just smoking that good.
Yeah,
A bit too much food.
Don't smoke. Good.
Good.
It's not good. It's not good at all. Urgot is
Bro, he's smoking the
hard.
good. He's smoking that freelo.
This is fucking abysmal. I would like to behead this Urgot. Holy shit. Okay. We're not focusing on it, we're focusing on Singed. Okay, first itemization is good. I really like your itemization here. Honestly, the fact you've got stacked Dark Seal as well is really, really nice. Soul Cruise Demonic, super, super nice. You actually do insane damage if anyone sits in poison for more than a couple seconds. Wait, this is like silver, isn't it? I remember.
It's I would have
Your
said
gold last
gold,
season.
but
Gold last season, weren't you? That's why I said silver now.
yeah.
It's okay. Okay, brilliant. This is well played. Yeah. How much do you roam every game? Would you say, typically? How much do you roam in an average game?
I mean, not enough this game.
So you roam less this game than usual.
I mean, I've been trying Conquer instead of Fred.
Yeah, you Conqueror's the laning room. The reality is, if you're gonna roam, you can't go Conqueror. It's just worthless, honestly. I would not recommend playing this style with Conqueror. It's Conqueror is the like lane stomping rune, and it's way harder to play.
And unfortunately, I didn't win that game.
No, it didn't look like you were going to. Okay, hang on. What am I gonna say? Champion Mastery. Like, you need to work on your like. You understand the champion. You have a good understanding of Singed and how he works. Like, it's good. Like, I don't know, like a B minus is good, but like your mechanics on Singed are not good. Like you love the goo flip, and that's great, and that's a very powerful mechanic, but you're not good enough at executing it. Like, I'm going to get a D for mechanics. Roaming you're good at, right? Yeah. You know your goo flipping sucks. Your roaming's good.
I'm sorry, okay? I took like a season off Singed top to play Singed support. Got gold.
Well, I don't care. My job is to judge you objectively.
Support? I knew I recognized your voice.
Am I? It's hard to say some of the stuff like map awareness and information when it's a ruffle file, obviously, but wave management, I mean, it was just unremarkable. I'll just put you at C because you're gold, but like, C minus. Matchup knowledge. I think your matchup knowledge has got to work. I don't think you understood the Urgot matchup in enough detail of how to win, how to like duel him properly, how to appropriately approach the 1v1. So maybe a C minus as well. CSing was fine. C plus. Recall through C. Itemization was great. I loved it. I liked the build. The build's wacky. The build's like a bit of a weird build. People don't go typically Stalk, but I liked it. I'll give you an A minus. You don't often see me giving an A to someone who's silver. That's a diamond level thing. It's a diamond level trait, but you know, whatever. Map awareness, I can't comment in detail. I would say C. It didn't seem awful, like you were at least looking at the map because you were raiding and stuff. Information, I'm just going to leave blank. Split pushing.
I mean, you put out the game before you could see
Yeah,
it.
well, this is the thing, because I really want to give everyone a preliminary rating first. So, like, I'm going to leave some of these blank until I go into more depth in some of these VODs, but I need to get everyone to have a tab first. At least everyone who's in here regularly, at least. So I can update them. That's why I'm kind of speedrunning these VODs. So I'm not going to put... I'm going to put these in the future, okay? Or maybe Aragon and Oryx can give their opinions on these things.
No time like the present.
Opportunities... You're pretty good at recognizing like some opportunities with regards to like goo flipping. You didn't your mechanics weren't there to back them up. You recognize the opportunity to kill Urgot if you like do these mechanics correctly, and then this is fine. Team fighting seemed good. You had fairly good target prioritization. So this is actually pretty nice. Honestly, this is not bad. This is not a bad review on the whole. Your mechanics are not up to par. That's the main thing. You need to play more top lane Singed, I guess. Like if I look at op.gg. GG. Let's go to NA. Let's fly to NA.
No matter.
Mine will be stronger.
Was it? Is it C or S? Yeah, you don't have enough games really. If you need to, you're doing better in these games. I guess you were ace here. Oh, you end up losing the game. Okay. 13-30. Did a lot of damage. The build's good. I'm a big fan of the build. Don't know that Rift Make. I think the Rift Make is pointless there.
Okay, so I lost this game because Riot Starfars decided to DC everyone on my team.
I see. Really?
Yeah.
For how long?
Like it was when we killed Kaisa on Baron.
Really?
We got DC'd and
I don't like this build at all. Especially the Merlo. The Merlo on Singe is not very good. You know, I mean, Singe applies previous wounds now. This isn't necessary. You shouldn't really be engaging in big team fights that well anyway. So I don't really like the Merlos either. Singe don't give. Okay, this does give 60 when they're low, but honestly, 40% previous wounds for Singe is more than enough. I'm gonna have to take you down with itemization actually, because I don't like the Rift Maker. Their team isn't like short range enough that you can keep enough people in the burn to prioritize Rift Maker. They have many resistances for the true damage to be valuable, and the Morellos is not very valuable either. So I'm gonna move you down.
What mythic should we grab?
Chem Tank would have been good here. Protobot's good. Other than that, I think those are the main ones. I'd just say Protobot and Chem Tank. Can't really think. I don't think any of the others are really valid. Even like something weird like Night Harvester genuinely would have been kind of okay. The move speed is very important versus teams with a ton of things to dodge, like Heimerdinger stun, Pike Kirk, got ult, Diana, fucking Q ult kind of thing.
Watley, do you only want VODs of losses?
No, I can VOD any. It's not about whether you win or lose. It's about how like close the lane phase primarily is. I just don't want VODs where you
Thump.
10-0 in lane phase. I don't want games where you go 0-10 in lane phase either. Because those are generally games where you did one good bad thing and then there's nothing else to talk about for the rest of the lane. If you do one good thing and get an ultra lead, then you just every decision you make is right, so I can't criticize you. And then if you get like if the opposite happens, if you get ultra stomped to your 0-10, every decision you make is wrong. Every decision you could possibly make is basically the wrong decision because the situation's impossible. So I also don't really want those VODs. But I don't care if the game is win or lose. I just care about whether the lane was an absolute one-sided stomp one way or the other. That's interesting.
do you want one-sided stomps?
No, I don't. I specifically don't want one-sided stomps.
Wee.
Yeah, I don't think I have time to do another VOD. I don't think I'm going to squeeze one in, but I really want to get everyone down onto this, honestly. So I'll be powering through VOD reviews for the next couple of days, hopefully, to get everyone at least one tab on the list. What's cool, if you guys talk, by the way, you can see like a laser go across the screen, because your name lights up, right?
Whoa!
Yeah, but say something.
That was very...
Sorry, it was loud.
If I move scroll up. If I go doot, 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 doot. You see, it's cool. Yeah, it's fun. You guys should do that. I'm going to do this later on my own. Like, I'm not... I'm genuinely not even kidding. I will be doing this later on my own. It's really, really fun. This is like a new Discord feature.
Oh, look at how many reminders to activate windows there are.
Watley, why don't you have activated windows?
I don't want to give Bill Gates my money. He's got enough money. He's really rich, dude. Bill Gates is so rich.
What do you
He's got
mean?
way more money than me.
What do you mean, give him money?
Why
would you give him money to activate Windows?
He made computers, man.
I mean, why would you give him money to activate?
Buy an OEM key for $4. They don't. Microsoft doesn't make money off those.
No, I'm not doing shit.
What do you mean $4?
I will gift you Windows activation.
I can gift you.
I don't want it. I am stubborn. Look, it is a testament. It's like being branded. It's almost like it's like being fucking branded with a mark of resistance. I refuse to comply. I will not go along with it. I will resist this like fucking insipid attempt to extract even more money from me that I already had to pay this fucking computer. Windows, fuck off.
In Russian, there's a saying that roughly translates to...
I think I know this one.
the kid's ears are frozen over, but he resisted the grandma asking him to put the hat on. So, you know,
Oh,
valiant effort. Or something like that.
there's another Russian expression I thought you were going to reference. It's the one that's vaguely speaking translates to even vinegar can be sweet when it's free.
Yeah, that one too.
That's the one I like. That's the Russian expression I like. And this is the one that applies here because, yeah, even Windows is sweeter when it's free.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying. You could just get it for free.
Hell no.
You already have it for free, so just
Anyway,
add
shut
more
up.
free onto it.
I think I can squeeze in another VOD review, unfortunately, but I can kind of hang around for a bit. I did start the session a bit late, so I should hang around for a little bit, talk to you guys. If any questions you guys have, particularly, especially because the new item patch has hit, any of you guys had any things you want to run by me with regards to items, feel free as well.
Why does Randuin's feel so much better now than it did previously?
I don't know. I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. I mean, champions are slightly more damage dealing and slightly less tanky, so theoretically the damage reduction of Randuin's that you could apply is slightly better. But on the whole, don't know.
If I go a laning phase against Ilawi, but never die as on, and I end the game 1-0-14, is that good? I kept up in CS.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ornn versus Alawi is like unplayably bad. I'm pretty sure that matchup's fucking impossible. So if you just kind of did nothing and scaled, then you probably did a good job here.
Do you know how the interaction between Death's Dance, Armor, and Frozen Heart works? Like,
Yes,
in which
they-
order does it apply?
It'll be armor, then DD damage reduction, and then Frozen Heart, like flat reduction last.
Okay.
Is it the same way for Force of Nature's 25% passive?
It doesn't matter for that. Okay, guys, this is like a maths thing, right? It doesn't matter in which, if you're going to multiply by something by 0.5, then 0.2, it doesn't matter which order you do it in, right? If you multiply 100 by 0.5, it's 50, and then multiply it by 0.2, it's 10. If you do it the other way around, if you multiply it by 0.2 first, it's 100 times 0.2 is 20, and then multiply by 0.5 is 10. So when you're multiplying things, it doesn't make a difference which order you do it in. It only matches flat reduction, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you reduce it by your MR percentage and then the Force of Nature flat 25% reduction. It doesn't matter which order you do them.
I guess since you brought it up, you probably should explain to people that don't know how it works, how Armor Pen works, because that's fun.
I mean, Armor Pen, penetration effects, both Armor and both Armor Pen and Magic Resist Pen apply in terms of percentage first and then flat pen afterwards. So for Void Staff Pen's 45% pen, and then will pen all your flat reduction from your Sork Shoes or your Protobelt or Ludens or Shadow Flame will apply after that.
I believe it's actually the opposite. It's flat first in percentage.
No, I bet my entire bank account it's not. I know it's not.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong, so I
much
will
money?
have $2 soon.
Okay, you put money on it, dude. I'll put money on it. No, it's percentage first and flat.
Let me check.
It's percentage first, then flat.
Otherwise, our value then.
It's actually
the value would be
reduction
so
percentage, flat reduction, percent pen, then flat pen.
Yeah. Technically speaking, yeah, reduction applies first, but like there are only like a couple forms of armor reduction in the game. There's Abyssal Mask, there's Trundle Ult, there's Ringcar Ult Auto, there's Rel Auto technically. Only a few causes of that, but yeah. Basically the rule is, guys, percentage then flat. Same with also resistances. The armor will block the your armor will reduce the damage first, and then your Warden's Mail or your Frozen Heart Randuin's whatever will flat pen. That's why these are very efficient. Because reducing 100 damage by 50%, reducing 100 damage by 80% to 20, and then reducing it by 10 flat on Warden's Mail to reduce it to 10 is way more efficient the other way around than reducing it by 100 by 10 to 90 and then reducing it by 80% to I don't want to do 0.9 times 0.8. It's like fucking 87. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway.
Hey Watley, for Riven, do you think it's better to go Death Dance second or Black Cleaver second, Death Dance third?
Good question.
Sometimes I'm into like
good.
AD matchups. Yeah.
I think if you're snowballing, Death's Dance is better. If you're against tanky people, then I'd say if you're against high damage teams and Death's Dance are against like tankier, bulkier teams, then Cleaver. If first tier teams, Death's Dance is way stronger. If you're against like tankier teams where you get to stack up, you need multiple rotations of your spells, you need to stack up your Cleaver and stuff, then I'd say Cleaver is better. The CDR is way more important than.
What do you think about Maw right now?
Maw's insane, but I don't really like the right situation, right? I'm only against the AP teams. But Maw is crazy good.
How do you feel about Trinity Force right now?
Trinity Force is just good item.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
kind
My
of,
friend
people
said it got gutted, like completely, because the passive got nerfed.
No, people really underrate Trinity Force. Even like, okay, obviously Divine Sunder has traditionally been stronger over the past, like, God knows how long, ever since the buff. But people undervalue Trinity Force, especially when you're snowballing. Like, the 200% flat base is basically always stronger than the... In a situation where you're valuing damage higher than sustain, it's generally more valuable Trinity Force, particularly if you're snowballing. But if you're not snowballing, then Divine Sunder is just so much better.
So, silly question. How do you feel about First Strike Malphite top lane?
Awful. First Strike is a rune, guys. First Strike is a rune where it's not a good rune. Okay, and you might think, okay, well, if it's not a good rune, why are so many champions take it, and why are so many champions so efficient with it? It is optimal to go on Jace, on Corki, and these champions. It's generally a rune you go when there is an absence of another good rune. Jace doesn't really have a good rune. He can go Phase Rush, but he's not in love with it. He can go Conqueror, but he's not in love with it. Corki also doesn't really have a good rune. He goes Fleet. I mean, before First Strike existed, Corki went Fleet, which is okay, but it's nice. But it's not. Good as well. Yeah, it's okay. But generally speaking, if champions have a highly synergistic rune already, they will never opt for First Strike. Like someone like Malphite loves Grasp / Comet, depending on the matchup. They're both really strong situationally. He will never go First Strike because he already has excellent choices. Jace had okay choices. Jace could either go Conqueror if he really wanted more damage, but he didn't really need it, and it particularly wasn't good late game where stacking up Conquerors Jace is like just not happening. And he could go Phase Rush as well to have additional mobility, but he didn't really need it because Jace has enough outplay potential, generally speaking, as it is. And yeah, obviously First Strike is highly synergistic with Jace because, wow, EQ 300 gold, back chest, love it. Cool. Wow, Poggers, Arcane.
So here's my reason for the question. I average over 1,000 gold earned from First Strike on Malphite games.
What happens next, I get to decide.
I mean, that's primarily coming late game, isn't it?
You're
getting a lot of it's coming late game.
Yeah,
but at 11 minutes, it's earned me 250 extra gold.
It's not terrible, but yeah, like I would much rather see you. I mean, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can VOD review one of these games at some point, but you could get pretty good value out of it late game. The reality is, if you're hitting like a 3-man Malphite, First Strike is highly efficient. Because not only it's not even about the gold, like forget the fucking gold. Forget the fucking gold. 10% increased damage on like full combo Malphite is very good. But your lane is just so much worse. Your lane is just so much worse, and honestly, in Silver,
do you really think Comet does that much more damage?
Okay, but no, it's either Comet or Grasp. If you're against a ranged champion,
or PT,
then Comet is PT. It's okay. I don't think.
No, PT is fine.
It's harder to use as well.
You just got W max. It's good versus like Wukong and shit.
Niche, I think it's okay. It's whatever, but it's pretty niche and it's less consistent, I think. But in general, you want... Okay, I will say PTA too. I'll put them in the same category as Grasp, PTA, because you both want them to melee matchups. But you go that into, obviously, melee matchups. And, like, good luck having First Strike against a melee matchup. And if you're against a range matchup, good luck having First Strike against a range matchup instead of Comet. Where, like, Comet I don't think you understand how like Comet brutalizes champions like Gnar and Kennen and Jace. Like they hate it. It does a lot. Okay, it does fuck all into melee champs. Fucking like Ornn doesn't care about him getting hit by like 6 Comets in a row. He doesn't give a shit. But
it's really broken.
Yes, more second wind drops.
It's really good into every range that doesn't take second wind. Like it's still fine into Gnar, but like versus Jace and Kennen, like their HP matters a lot. If they get chunked down, then they can't play aggressive.
Yeah. Even if Gnar does go like fleet second, like fucking like some bullshit like fleet D-shield second wind, I still think it's after you hit like level like 3-point Q or 4-point Q, your Q is gonna be doing so much damage to him so quickly that you'll probably find opportunities to ult when he's low, in silver at least. Even if he goes that setup, unless he rushes some like bullshit MR, like randomly like sits on null magic or something.
And you should always go conditioning overgrowth on Malphite, no matter what.
Yeah, overgrowth. I think I always shill unflinching over overgrowth, but on Malphite unflinching is pretty weak because by the time you can be CC'd, you've done everything that's useful. Like no one cares if you get CC'd as Malphite after you get out. Conditioning.
Yeah,
I still want a range going like second wind.
With your bit, I still like conditioning into like what range do you need it into? You know, like you're fine versus Jace and shit. I mean, it makes it easier, yeah, I guess, but they shouldn't be
just forgiving.
Shouldn't be able to punish you, anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going, it means you're going secondary as well. If you're going Comet into range, it means you're going conditioning secondary.
It kind of helps a lot with overgrowth, considering you won't have that much HP after 2 items. It's the third one where you build
Malphite lacks HP pretty hard. Malphite's one of these, like most champions have a situation where they accidentally get too much HP relative to their resistances, whereas Malphite I think is the only real example of a champion who gets the reverse, where he actually gets 2 resistances compared to his HP. The reason for this is base HP. Like base HP in the game scales into late game way higher, way harder than like base resistances. This is why champions buy HP early and they feel totally unkillable. Like if someone backs and gets like 2 ruby crystals, they feel like they're absolutely unkillable. The reason that is because levels 1 to 6, let's say, base resistances are relatively speaking way higher than base HP. Whereas late game it's the reverse. At level 18, everyone's HP is through the fucking base HP is through the roof, whereas everyone's base resistance is fucking shit. HP is better early and resistance is better late game. That's why late game no one goes 5th item anathemas, because the HP at that level is just not very valuable. Whereas resistances and other effects are crazy valuable.
That's why Riven with like D-Blade, D-Shield feels fucking Exodia.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you think about Sterak's? New Sterak's?
Dead. It's fucking awful.
Okay. What about Camille though? Like, what's the build path on her now? Divine.
This is why I said it's actually I think the patch was quite a big nerf to Camille because she's actually one of the champions who was quite reliant on Sterak's. She's one of
the boss built on Sion.
Sion's a niche case because of 2 reasons. Firstly, his base AD is crazy high.
Yeah, and then it scales off.
Secondly, it scales off very specifically. It scales off bonus HP, which means Sion has Sion has crazy low base HP. I think at level 18, Sion has.
Game is what 60 HP.
Long story short, I think Sterak's is bad. I think on Camille. The thing is, it's so tricky. It's so tricky because if you opt into Death Stance, which you definitely want to do, then Sterak's is so shit. I just don't think you go Sterak's.
She just feels so much worse now.
Yeah. Like it's a big nerf because she was hard leaning on Sundra. You can go Triforce. Triforce is still good, but like playing a build of like Triforce Ravenous and committing to the split, or Triforce Death Stance and trying to team fight with Triforce Death Stance is way harder. You can go Divine Sundra Death Stance too, but again, still harder to team fight with than like Divine Sundra Sterak's. Turns out Divine Sundra Sterak's was a strong combination. But yeah, Camille was one of the bruisers that got significantly nerfed. Riven got significantly buffed. I'll see off the top of my head who else got changed.
Jax,
Aurelia buffed. Jax. I don't want to say Jax got buffed. Really.
No, you do Boar Crush now.
Yeah, you go Boar Crush, and Boar Crush is a buff, but he's in the same boat as Camille where he leaned pretty hard on Sterak's. And honestly, if we're going Boar Crush, like Sterak's is just terrible. You're leaning, like, if you Boar Crush is great, don't get me wrong. I don't know if Boar Crush is as good as Triforce Rush, honestly. think Triforce Rush on Jax has always been. Like,
you go Bork Triforce now on Jax.
Yeah, go Bork Triforce, and yeah, like how do you team fight with that build? Okay, you can split, but you can't really split that hard.
You're fine if you have level 2 ult. You're fucking tanky regardless, to be honest.
You go like Bork Tri Death Stance, Bork Tri Death Stance Wits.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, but like.
Bork Tri Death Stance or Bork Divine Death Stance.
Around the 3 and 4 item spike, you're really missing the old Sterak's. I don't really want to say Jax is better than he was just because like fucking Triforce and Bork are marginally better when he leaned on like Sterak so hard. Yeah, it looks like his win rate dropped pretty significantly. Although part of that's going to be people going dogshit builds.
So, funnily enough, I actually went Sterak's on one of my games.
What the fuck?
The shield was huge, but it wasn't that good.
I actually don't think. Okay, it's not great, but honestly, Ornn's one of the better users of Sterak's because he has crazy bonus health. He has very high bonus HP in the same way Sion does because of how he interacts with his mythic firstly his mythic items, his upgrades, and his passive gives him a ton of bonus HP. Secondly, his Q has 100% AD scaling. He has high base AD and his Q has 100% AD scaling. So honestly, I think like 5th, 6th item Sterak Ornn is good. Before that, it's terrible because there's way better things you could be going. 5th, 6th item, I actually think Sterak Ornn is good, or at least decent. I mean, why not?
I ended the
game. There's better items, no? Like,
not really. Tank items at 5th, 6th item. By the time you get like 5th, 6th item tank items, what are you building? They're pretty shit.
Anathemas,
Anathemas should be like 3rd or 4th if you really need it.
Yeah, if you don't want to go Anathemas that late, and like the shield on Ornn, like there isn't really many better tank items than having something like a 1k shield in a team fight late game. There's nothing's going to make
isn't bad, I guess.
Warmonks is the worst item in the game, hands down. Warmonks is literally
like good on Ornn earlier.
It's really situational on Ornn. It's mostly just versus Cave, to be honest.
Didn't you say health was good early game?
It's better against, say, like Cassiopeia.
No, Warmog Rush is terrible. Everyone's done this like meme thing for ages where you can go like first item Warmogs and stay in lane forever, but like it's fucking awful, I think.
Macro actually rushes Warmogs against Cassiopeia.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe these like unplayable matchups. I mean, Nara isn't unplayable, but
Cassiopeia. I think Vayne as well.
Cassiopeia.
Cassio's unplayable for her now.
Yeah, Cassio's unplayable. Vayne's pretty much unplayable. At least at the GM level. Macro's like
the shield I got.
I don't think there's a single situation where I can really justify like Warmogs. Like these incredibly niche things like lane versus Cassiopeia. Generally speaking. Yeah, no, theoretically, like...
It's super niche.
I don't think there's any... I think Sterak's, like, super late on Ornn. I don't see the problem with it. It fucking... Your Q will slap. Your Q is hyper low cooldown at that point. You're going to get a 1k shield, like, minimum 1k shield. At that point, probably bigger. Yeah, it's bigger. 5th, 6th item will be bigger.
Yeah.
And, like, you've kind of exhausted the supply of good tank items at that point. What, you're going to finish with
Gargoyle, possibly?
Gargoyle's good. I mean, if you went with something like Mythic, Anathemas, Frozen Heart, then like you go like Force Nature 4th, and that's when you kind of feel the burn of like, what do I go? Okay, like there's Gargoyle, Sterak.
How is Tom now, by the way?
He's pretty bad. I'm just playing Moonstone Tom.
Huh?
I'm like Master.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'm fucking around playing like Moonstone Tom and like Master. Moonstone Tom.
Artificially deflating the win rate. So
Moonstone Tom, Font of Life or what?
No, not Font of Life. Just you can go Redemption to it, but I usually just go like
Shield Bash.
Moonstone Spirit Vision. You abuse the fact you have 35% heal and shield power from Moonstone, so you have like big. That your it buffs your E shield, it buffs your Q heal, and it buffs the ult shield you give people. So you give people massive shields.
So you're basically top lane support now.
No, because honestly, like, you're not really that much squishier with Moonstone. You're squishier one item with Moonstone. You're more prone to being burst, but honestly, you're pretty similar once you get out of lane. I don't know. Moonstone's chill.
What do you say? What do you think counters Aatrox?
Like meta matchups counter Aatrox? Well, I think Aatrox just isn't that good right now.
Really? I think he's fine. Like, there's nothing that hard beats him, kinda.
Well, yeah, but like that's... I wouldn't say it's a mark of a good top right now.
No, I'm Pharaoh main, and he doesn't.
no.
You give up CS early and you're stronger level 6. You can't.
Is there ever a world where they either make Aatrox's Qs do the same thing Riven's does, or make Riven's Qs do the same thing Aatrox's does?
No.
Or are they never gonna touch either of them?
No, I don't think so. Off the top of my head, picks that beat Aatrox. Realistically, Tryndamere will clobber Aatrox unless the Aatrox is fucking absolutely insane. Malphite is a classical counter.
Really?
Malphite is
Yeah. I like Ornn into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Ornn loses early, but he just outscales Aatrox.
Mm-hmm. You don't die. I mean, Aatrox has to go Divine Sunder builds to be able to even touch you later on. And you can
later on. He just fucking goes. I just think Gore and just out team fights. He just free scales. I like
he doesn't
Gale
out team fight you.
Yeah, he doesn't out team fight you, and he doesn't out scale you either.
He just fucking.
And you can punish bad Aatroxes.
I just think 1 to 11, you have pressure. You have too much pressure for it to be like considered a good matchup. Like I get it's fine. I guess you just farm Zorn and you team fight better, but like I feel like 1 to 11, he has too much pressure. Post 11, I mean even post 11, 1v1 he's good, but that's 11.
Mordekaiser buy Bramble and give him a hug the entire game.
Yeah, no, Aatrox is designed as a champion. Like the reason Aatrox has been such a pro play champion is he's designed in such a way that it's not many champions like hard stomp him. He can always survive and kind of scale, but his items aren't great. I think another champion who leaned on Sterak's pretty hard is Aatrox. He leaned on Sterak's pretty hard. It's gone. Gordrinker got buffed for him, but like Gordrinker is like a shadow of its like old Gordrinker for Aatrox.
He goes Black Cleaver build now.
What Cleaver Rush?
He goes Gore Black Cleaver, I think.
I would say Gore DD is better than Gore Black Cleaver.
Yeah, that's what Nail thought as well, but he tried both.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what does the Aatrox go now?
He goes Gore Black Cleaver, and then DD, I think.
Nail's just damage addict. Nail just only builds like highest damage item always. Like he's probably going like Srauda's third or something.
Yeah, but he was shitting on it really hard. He was flaming this guy in chat who recommended it, and then he accidentally bought the 800 HP item, right? Because he was like covering the item. He was like, "Ah, fuck it, I'll just try it," and then it felt really strong. He said.
It is buffed relatively. Both items were buffed, but just
cooldown reduction is just broken on Aatrox in general.
Yeah. I would rather go fucking Ionians, just say fuck it, just go Gore, Ionians, DD, and you're hitting like soft cap of CDR anyway then.
Ionian?
Yeah. Ionian boots are turbo underrated on like everyone.
You know what's
I tried it once and on, it was actually fucking strong.
You know what's hidden good?
What?
Berserker Graves Jax.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think the main point is people just brain AFK, build Tabby, Mercs every game, and these items like Tabby is way worse than it used to be in the past. Tabby is fucking dog shit item now, unless against certain champions. Mercs is just overall not that great either, generally speaking. There's insane sources of free like tenacity in from runes, and again damage is so high. If you get CC'd, you basically die now.
Yeah, I'm watching your Moonstone shit. You're actually pretty fucking tanky.
Yeah, because it's like 35% bigger shields, right? And it's really.
Did you go Revitalize?
I mean, that was like D2 game. Yeah, I go like Revitalize. Revitalize Moonstone Spirit Visage means your shield's at 75% bigger.
Redemption?
Yeah, you can get Redemption too, but when I was going Moonstone to Redemption second, it feels janky. Okay, theoretically you have this really high like healing shielding, but your base HP and you have 0 base HP and 0 base resistances, so you're liable just to get one shot before you get to shield. You'll take your whole HP bar and damage and you pop a big shield, and then it falls off and you die, and you're like, okay, cool.
Do you know if there's any matchup practice discords anymore? I remember there used to be one.
I never used them. No clue.
I appreciate your theory crafting builds.
It's the only thing I'm good at.
Wait, where? Did you post it anywhere or just talking?
No, yeah.
I played the game where, what was it? Shyvana got Giga fed, and I think she was like 11-0 by like 15 minutes. I went Rally's Demonic Frostfire and just tanked her to death. and
Wait, who you
it's a very
playing?
satisfying game.
Mordekaiser probably.
Kaiser?
Yeah. Frostfire Mord. Frostfire Mord's good. I mean, Chemtank's Mord's good too, but Chemtank's nerfed now.
Frostfire
Kinda
Gwen
just-
is also fine in its situational.
I mean, it's just the fucking fact that it is Riftmaker is a dog shit item.
I've enjoyed the Chem Tank is fun if I get ahead and I run Frost if I kind of get behind and just become a Giga Tank.
Wait, you fucking spit someone out and queued like instantly so they can dodge it.
That's the void. There's like 3 frames at the end of Palm Kenchar where you can press Q.